This is Nick Nielsen, Mad Scientist of Muscle, and what I want to talk to you about today here is Shilajit and how it can be useful for fat loss. Now, the product that I'm using here is Natural Shilajit. That's the brand name. Now, one of the big things that I like about this company is that they do test for heavy metals and other toxic products that can be associated with Shilajit. Now, I'm taking the capsules, so I'll give you a quick view inside. These are basically encapsulated and powder inside. They have a unique process where they actually take the resin and they remove the moisture and make a powder out of it without losing any of the nutritional benefits. Now, in terms of how Shilajit works with fat loss, it does not actually directly burn fat. It's primarily, at least in my experience, useful for detoxing as you're losing fat. So essentially what happens when you start to get into real deep fat burning, the body sequesters toxic products like heavy metals and other stuff inside your fat cells. So they're basically walling them off, they're vaulting them off. This makes those fat cells actually harder to get at and harder to burn because your body doesn't want to release that stuff back into your system. So what the Shilajit does, and I'll probably accidentally call it Shilajit from time to time, the Shilajit does is bind to those heavy metals as they're getting released from your fat cells. So as they come out of sequestration, that's when the Shilajit really shines, because what happens is you need to first unlock the fat cells, then you need to burn the fat, and then the stuff that comes with it is the stuff that can give you like detox headaches. This is the kind of stuff that gets processed through the liver, and the liver is very good at this stuff, but the Shilajit, and there we go again, actually helps with that process. So as it's circulating through your system, it actually binds to those heavy metals and other things that are being released. So it can help to clear those out of your body and potentially help prevent you from getting those kind of detox headaches and detox symptoms like the Herxheimer reactions, where what that is where you kind of detox and your body is reacting to those things that are back into your system. So we don't want your body to put those back in, obviously. So what we're kind of trying to do with the Shilajit is bind to those heavy metals, bind to those toxins, and clear them out of the body. So as I said, your kidneys and your liver, they do a really good job with this, but this kind of thing, especially with how great of a affinity it has for heavy metals, can really help with that. So you don't think of it as trying to replace, like you're not doing like detox teas or detox fasting or cleansing or anything like that. This is actually like going in there and assisting your body to do the job of clearing this stuff out of your body as your body fat releases it. So as we get older, our likelihood of developing this kind of really big sequestration of toxic minerals and metals and other byproducts really goes up, because you're basically accumulating these things over the years. And what happens is your body, normally fat cells live about 8 to 10 years and then they die off. What happens is these cells don't die off, so they just basically keep on going like zombie fat cells, and they keep on kicking out hormones and other basically quote unquote bad things that affect your body on a daily basis. So by getting rid of this dysfunctional fat, we can actually really help your body be healthier just in general. So taking something like Shilajit as you're doing this kind of deep fat loss, it's going to really help by not allowing your body to pull those things back into the fat cells. So what you really want to make sure when you're doing this, drink a ton of water, take the Shilajit first thing in the morning without anything else. One of the nice things about taking capsules like this is you can use filtered water. In a previous video, I talked about using hot tap water, and somebody pointed out it's probably a good idea if your tap water is not filtered. It could potentially bind with stuff that's in the tap water. So that's a really good point, and I want to bring that up as well. So make sure when you're taking this, you're using filtered water. This is very true with food or any other supplements as well. So if you take Shilajit with anything else, there is potential, if there are any impurities in the food or in the supplements, that it will bind to those instead of what's in your body. So taking it on an empty stomach, especially when you're trying to lose fat and you are kind of getting any sort of detox effects, this is actually a really good idea, because this is going to help clear that stuff out of there and help your body do its job and not pull that stuff back into your fat cells, so you're not going to have to worry about regaining fat. And this will give those dysfunctional fat cells a chance to basically get cleared out and die. So get cleared out by your body. That's one of the main goals of, especially if you've got a lot of fat to lose, clearing those stuff out, clearing out those toxic fat cells, and then, you know, not having to worry about that stuff anymore being in your body and spewing out any sort of toxic byproducts and hormones. So this is how you use Shilajit. This, like I said, this company actually does testing, and they publish this on their site on their batches of this stuff because it does have a strong affinity for heavy metals. If you don't get stuff that's tested, it can be contaminated already with heavy metals, and you don't want to be putting that stuff back into your body. So even if you use a different source, make sure you're using a source that is tested and verified to be clean. So again, this is Natural Shilajit. There'll be a discount code here that you can use and a link if you want to actually try this stuff out. They have this in capsule format, which is the easiest way to go. They have it in like the raw resin as well, which has it's an interesting taste. I'll give you that. I kind of like it. I've kind of gotten used to it. They also have it in honey sticks, so it's mixed with honey, and that's a very easy way to go, and you can mix that with hot water. Like somebody said, I said earlier, use filtered water and then heat it up rather than hot tap water. So give this stuff a try if you're on a fat loss diet, if you're on a fat loss program. This is an excellent addition to that.